Hello, hello, can you tell me your name? Oh, here we go again, another live stream. I've done one in a while. If anyone can let me know if you can hear me okay, it'd be much appreciated. My mic does tend to play up a bit. It's a bit old, here's my microphone. Hello, hello, can you tell me your name? Oh. How are you all doing then? Not done one of these for a little while. Not been on any other kind of live stream recently either. Been busy at home with the children. Of course, they're on summer holiday, aren't they? So it is a bit much because of the heat as well, and just not really had the time or the enthusiasm to do many live streams recently. But I will pick up. It will pick up. Things will improve. No subject today, just free-flowing conversation. Anything and everything. Just to hang out, this is. It's just a cool place to hang out and chill. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Great. It actually is working first time. So that's a bonus. That's good news. How is everyone then? How are you all doing? No, I've had a few recently, but this one's going to stay for a while at least. Anyway, quite like this one. I wasn't too sure about the other one. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but after a little while, I was like, maybe I should go back to my roots, to what others recognise me as, a vinyl collector. Picked up a bit of vinyl actually, but not sure I want to show it because I want to make a video of it. Well, I got about over 10 records to show. Buying a lot of CDs as well recently. New artists and stuff I wasn't familiar with. Evening, Jason. I'm trying to listen to a bit more modern music. Not too modern, but a bit more modern to what I've normally listened to. You know, so something from about, I don't know, 2017 onwards, you know, in that sort of region, trying to slowly discover all that music. Not necessarily like mainstream, but I don't know, bands I didn't know about, or you know, stuff which just sort of went under the radar. I mean, I listen to the radio every day at work for years and have done for years, and there's just nothing going on which like makes me think, oh, you know what, I want to go out and buy that. It's been like it for so long. The mainstream music is just crap. But then sometimes I do find there might be something which might have to age maybe 5 years for me to start giving it a bit of attention. You ever find that? Just like, you know, not too many songs or too many artists, just the odd thing here and there. Just think, oh, you know what? I quite like that actually. Now that I've got the CD and I can actually, you know, hear it better, clearer, without, you know, all the sort of noise and distraction of what's going on at work. I can enjoy it a bit more. I actually get, you know, I actually get it. Can't really read that, Jason. It's all right. Evening, Richard. How you doing? From a film. Ah, you're meaning from a film. So I'm quite happy to do sort of like later, shorter live streams for the meantime, you know, bite size. See what happens, you know. I know that quite a few of you are probably getting a bit fatigued from live streams. I can understand that. You know, you got Ian's on Thursday, which goes for 2 hours, doesn't it? So, you know, it could be a lot. That's what I thought. For about an hour. Yeah, well, that's enough, isn't it? Just doing the two. I don't think everyone's in the, quite so keen to do them, are they? Like, in this weather, and people are going out more, and there's more going on. I think it picks up a bit, a little bit later on in the year. When the days are a bit shorter, going up to Christmas. Depends on the frame of mind as well. Yeah. Yeah. September and onwards, you might find a bit more active. That's true. Premier League has kicked off. So we got our football back. Quick question. Do I have many 12-inch singles? I have quite a bit, actually. Yeah, I do. Why'd you ask that, Richard? Yes, you're an F1 fan, Jason, aren't you? I know. It is seasonal though, isn't it, F1? No, not everyone's cup of tea. Popular though. But not as popular as football. March till November. All right. I was going to ask you if you wanted to do a collab video on 12-inch singles, possibly AZ on artists. Don't have a few letters. Yeah, I could probably do that, Richard. Yeah. Yeah, I could probably do that. Don't know about Z, but yeah. I mean, I might. There might be a letter or two I might not have. I should be able to do it though. Apart from what some of the maybe some of the more difficult ones, like Z or Y or X. Might be possible though. Sure, but I'm sure between us we could probably do it. I do like a 12-inch single, must admit. keep meaning to do this other collaboration, but it doesn't seem to materialize as of yet. I did ask Ian about it. Maybe doing it on his on a Sunday. But I know he has a busy schedule and stuff, so I don't want to, put too much pressure on him. Great, probably in a few weeks' time, if that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can do that. I've got all my 12-inch vinyl available to me. I can get them out and go through them. Where were you thinking about doing that then, Richard? I mean, like on whose channel and what live stream? How do you want to do it? You have to let me know. I think, Richard, when we do this video, if it is just me and you should wear your Arsenal shirt and I should wear my Tottenham shirt, just for a laugh. Okay. You use Zoom, do you? Okay, I don't use Zoom. Sure, it'll be fine. We can suss that out anyway. We can work out whatever platform or whatever. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I look forward to that actually. It was only a suggestion. Tell you what, though, Richard, I'm worried that Arsenal might win the league this season. I've got a feeling it's just going to be their season this season. It's not a nice feeling, believe me. And and to say that they deserve it, they do. I must admit, there's no team that deserves to win the league than Arsenal. For having how close they've been over the last 2 to 3 seasons. Vieira's on his way back to Porto. Yeah, they are. They're getting stronger and stronger. However deserving they are of it, which they are, I still don't want them to win it. Sorry. I can't have Arsenal win the league. Not again. Yeah, he was. He was a decent buy. Yeah. He's a young striker. He's got a point to prove. You know, I think he'll do well. We've got some good youngsters as well coming through. Bergville. Yeah, Mikey Moore, of course. Probably the best 16-year-old in the country. Archie Gray. Yeah, we've got some good young players coming through as well. We've brought quite wisely. Our attack is much improved. I know we didn't really get the right result with Leicester, but it'll only get better, I think. Defence is pretty solid. They got more depth about us now, I think. Yeah, it was a bit, admittedly. I mean, I'm not that too concerned about it. It's not the first game. Yeah, we should have won it, but you know, we've got a young squad now. It's going to take. It might take a bit of time for them to adjust. You know, we've had quite a few players brought in. You know, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. Don't think we're going to like win the league or anything like that, but I think we've got a chance of reaching the fourth spot, getting to the Champions League this time around. Yeah, I think we got a better chance this time than last season. Because the players we brought in, I think we've got a bit more depth. Although we have European football, we didn't have that last season. I expect a little bit more from them. Well, that's just it. I don't think he will. I don't think he has a plan B. He's just gun ho. That's just how it is. We will find out, won't we? I mean, if it doesn't go well, he could be sacked. We'll have to see. We are historically an attacking team. You know, it is our identity, really. You know, it's our motto. Our motto is to dare to is to do. So it does bode well, really. Yeah, they're just going to continue strengthening their side, City, aren't they? I mean, it's inevitable. Got money to burn, haven't they? Really, I didn't know that. I think we have been a very well run club for a number of years, to be honest with you. Although it's not been reflected on the pitch, the infrastructure is all there. I'd just like to see, yeah, the club just be a bit more of a footballing club now, and not so much the business side. But I mean, I don't think it will change. I think that's just how things will be, and it will stay until Levy's tenure is over. Um, they're more business people than they are, you know, footballing. So I've got a few ideas, but I've got a few videos scheduled, one or two videos scheduled, and I've got a few ideas which I've noted down, which I'm going to get onto in the near future. I don't like to give too much away, actually, really. Been on a break, have you? I don't tend to do a lot, you know, just a minimal amount, really, you know. Yeah, a new name. Yeah, I changed the name. This one's going to stay for a while. You've been a bit quiet on the musical front, have you? Was in not making as many videos or not buying so much recently? It's the way it's going, Simon. Just look at Chelsea. Well, Chelsea have been really a notoriously poor club. What's been managed, hasn't it? Yes, I know they've had the silverware, and they've won the Premier League and the FA Cups and the Champions League, of course. All credit to them, but they've squandered a load of money, in doing so. You know, Abramovich era, and the new owners. Todd Bowley came in, spent over £1 billion on players. Brought youngsters in on long-term 9-year contracts. So it's just crazy money, and they're just mediocre. Being said that, they have improved a bit, and I expect they'll probably improve a little bit more. So, but I don't think they've learnt their lesson. Just buying so much, just not buying so much. I brought a mix of CDs and vinyl. CDs are just such a bargain, aren't they? They're so cheap. But then I think, I would like a record. It's been a while since I bought a record, or so I sort of balance between the two. I probably get more CDs than I do vinyl, because, like I said, CDs are so cheap. So I'm likely to buy more CDs. I do make sure I do get the old vinyl record come in. But I'd take Sterling at Spurs. Yeah, I'd take Sterling. Everything just seems to be clicking in place for Arsenal. He's been left out in the cold at Chelsea, but he's over 300,000 per week. Nobody would touch him. Well, it's just greed, isn't it? And Chelsea paying a ridiculous salaries for players. And they price themselves out of the market, these players, don't they? Where they have huge salaries. Only certain clubs can buy them. So I mean, no, he wouldn't come to Spurs. There's no way Levy will pay that salary just to a player like Sterling. Well, they are interested in that other Chelsea player. That's a striker, I think it is. McGregor, is it? Oh, I can't remember his name now. Conor Gallagher. That's what I was thinking of. Conor Gallagher. There is interest in Conor Gallagher. Yeah. I suppose he probably does get a bit of money in, doesn't he, for YouTube? You know, all those videos he puts out. You know, he's clocking up in views and going up in subscribers. So yeah, he probably does get a bit of cash, I'd imagine. Not a lot, but you know, a bit. Oh, has he? Oh, I didn't know that. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. I didn't realise that. Yeah, well, we are tend to see more British players going to Europe a bit more than what we used to see years ago. I've noticed, you know, there's more British players branching out into the European clubs. You're Astro? Yeah, he's got to Atletico Madrid. So he won't be coming to Spurs then. Yeah, they can't get played. And it can't be easy for them because you know there's so many foreign players in the Premier League have to compete against. I think even Kane might be regretting his decision to go to Bayern Munich. Did read something that he's finding things a bit difficult over there. Not so much the club as such, but like the way of life and you know getting used to being in a foreign country. You know, because he's a family man, isn't he, Kane? So there must be quite an adjustment. I think if he wins a trophy, it'll you know, it would help. I don't know that's going to be the answer to all his problems. He won that trophy at Spurs, didn't he? But he wasn't willing to lift the trophy up. I mean, it was only a minor tournament thing, but he's a legend, isn't he, Kane? He should. He should come back. There's a chance he might. Would he come back to Tottenham? Or would he go to a different club in the Premier League? I've seen the picture. I've seen the picture. He was in Arsenal's youth academy, wasn't he? Well, that's the question. I can't see him go anywhere else but Tottenham. But I can't see Tottenham having him back either. I don't think Levy would want it, you know. He has a strict policy of sort of, players in their 30s, and maybe he'll make an exception for Kane, but then it would entail a pretty hefty transfer fee, which I've not ever seen Levy, go into the sort of 100 million range. I mean, he spent what, 65 million, I think it's the highest he's spent. He doesn't tend to go higher than that on players. I just can't see it. I can see Kane wanting to come back, but I don't think a Levy would honour it. But I think there is a buyback clause in the contract, so maybe might get a bit of a discount there. I don't know. I just can't see Levy getting his checkbook out and just making a statement like that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they did say he was too chubby. So I went to Spurs. No player is worth all that money. It is ridiculous. It is what it is, though, isn't it? Son is getting on a bit. Yeah, he is. He's what? He's 30, isn't he? They've got a player to replace him, haven't they? A Korean. He's very, very good, actually. I mean, he won't replace him straight away. It'll take some time. But I think the idea is after a while that he will become Son's replacement when he leaves. I love Son. I love him as a player. People talk about Kane and you know, but Son's popularity is absolutely like ridiculous. You know, he's a superstar in Korea. Hmm. Who's that? Son. I would have loved him to have been an Arsenal player more than Kane. I think Son would probably fit into any team, quite honestly. He's that good of a player. I think there's not too many players that would. Obviously, you know, Kane is now left, so I can't really say Kane. But Son definitely would do any Premiership club. I think they'd be glad to have him. He'll sell a lot of shirts with Son as well. I'd like to see Son retire at Tottenham, quite honestly. Another player they Spurs should have got was Grealish. They should have got Grealish. He's another player now who's like on a ridiculously high wage, you know. You should have brought him when he was cheap, when he played for Villa. If I could pick one current Arsenal player to play for Spurs, who would it be? That's funny you should ask me that. I would say probably Saka. Probably Saka. He's young. He's English. He's a good right winger. You know, he has that potential to even further improve his game. Yeah, I'd probably say Saka. And he gets kicked to death. And still smiles. He does, yeah. He's always got a smile on his face. He's like Son. He's always smiling. Don't hear too much about Sol Campbell anymore. I'll be spying to see if I get that kind of money for kicking a ball about. No, he doesn't seem to do the punditry. And also, that Jermaine Genus has been sacked from the BBC as well. Did you know that, Richard? He's always moaning, Sol, wouldn't he? You know, I want to be England captain. You know, England manager. That was it. I want to be England manager. You know, I want to be knighted by the Queen because of our undefeated season we had with Arsenal. I just, ugh. Do I have an email address on my channel to contact you for the 12-inch video? I think there was on there. I'll have to have a look. Do you not use WhatsApp, Richard? Probably would be a better way of contacting me. I mean, I do check my emails a little bit, so probably not enough to, not regular enough to see your message. You do use WhatsApp. All right. Okay. I will either get your number or you're in contact with Ian through WhatsApp. Maybe I can tell Ian to give you my number. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Is Jimmy Barnes going to make an appearance? Not likely. Not very likely. He is on a hiatus for live streams. Apart from Rachel. I think that was just a one-off. All right, okay. Well, you could come on here, Richard, and we could swap details privately after the live stream or something. You want to do it that way? I'll send a link out in case you want to come on, or anyone wants to come on. You'll be talking to Ian tomorrow, okay? Yeah, Jimmy did say he will return at some point. Yeah, probably a little bit later on in the year, I expect. Wax is moving into a smaller apartment soon. Yeah, sure. Whenever you're ready, Jason. Is that true? Is that Wax actually moving, or are you just joking? Did I build that CD storage unit myself? I put it together. Came as a set, you know, you fix together. So yes, in a way, yes. This is actually a pretty good CD storage. Actually, I did buy another similar to this, and it was nowhere near as good. I have another CD storage shelf unit as well, which is around the side of behind me. You can't see it. How much? How much was it? I think it was in the region of about £100. I bought it probably maybe 5 years ago, around about £100, and it was on eBay, I believe. I was thinking about removing the CDs out of there and just changing it over a bit, swapping things over a bit. This is all basically my rock. Anything rock goes on here. Is it attached to the wall? No, it's not attached to the wall. You can attach it to the wall, but I didn't. It's got quite a wide floor to it. Like the bottom shelf is actually a lot wider than the actual shelves, so it's quite safe. It's not going to fall down. Yeah, your CDs, yeah, or in boxes. I do remember. I remember you saying about those Now CDs you have, which are all in boxes. It does help, you know, even though you probably won't get all your CDs on there if you buy the one, but it will help get a load of them out of the box on there. I mean, I do it as genre, so like this is all rock. Right at the bottom there's heavy metal and punk, and then around the corner from me and around the back of the house, I have all my indie stuff. Underneath that, I have a load of rows of alternative. And anything pop or compilations or anything like that goes in a plastic box and gets put away. I have actually culled a lot of my compilations. Well, I bagged them up. I've not actually got rid of them yet, as of yet, but I'm planning to. We just can't quite get enough courage to do it just at the moment. Just something is holding me back. Not quite wanting to get rid of them just yet. I just want to hang on to them a little bit longer and make sure I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, we can talk now. Talk now. I see they reissued all the early ones, haven't they? The last, I don't know, 5 years or whatever it's been. I looked in HMV to where they were like now, and they're up to now 17 already. So my good. I think my last one I got was now 11, the reissue. I've got all the reissues from 1 to 11, I think. So I'm a bit behind. Yeah, Jason.
Hello, mate. All right.
How's it going?
Hi, not too bad. Say, been a bit of a frustrating week.
Yeah.
No, I've been trying to do this, keep getting fit and all the rest of it. I pulled a hamstring in the back of my knees, and
oh, that's painful.
Yeah, I've not been able to do it. So now I'm putting the weight back on again. So it's like really annoying.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It is, yeah.
So not really been up to much apart from I got the Ugly Kid Joe gig coming up next weekend.
Yes, Richard, I am interested. I must admit there is a few which I don't have, and I would like to fill those gaps, so to speak. But we'll talk later on.
That's funny. I got a family friend who collects all of those now records.
Yeah, well, the records.
Yeah. Well, CDs.
Yeah,
CDs as opposed to actual vinyl, but yeah, you know what I mean. No, I think I've got now 10 stashed away somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but that is on vinyl.
Oh, vinyl, yeah.
I can't remember what's on it.
Got quite a few on vinyl actually.
Yeah. No, I didn't mind them when they first came out because, obviously sort of like the 80s and the 90s, there was stuff that I followed.
Yeah.
It got to the point and it was all their, teeny bop bands and the rest of it. I thought, I don't want that.
No, once you get into like the 2000s, it just becomes crap, doesn't it?
Well, even sort of like, the sort of Spice Girls here and all that malarkey was like, that was all they were sticking on there, that sort of thing. And it's like,
yeah,
not for
me.
I
know, like S Club and all that, like
poppy I'd rather
group band.
I was buying more stuff like the Shine CDs and stuff like that. The indie ones.
Indie ones, yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah.
I've got some of those. I'm after Shine 2 though. I'm always looking out for it in the charity shops.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I get the odd one from like Q magazine or whatever, and they'd have a bunch of like, summer festival stuff or whatever from the 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they were good because you pay like, well, I don't know, $3.50 or whatever it was at the time for a magazine, and you get a CD with it. It's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, the early ones are in the fat CD boxes, aren't they, Richard? They went as sort of like the jewel case.
Yeah.
One.
Yes, yeah, I'll just see Richard's joke. Yes, mate.
So you're not being very productive then, Jason?
Sorry?
You're not being as productive as you have been.
No. It's I mean, I've got the video rendering for tomorrow morning, so that's on its way. But yeah, certainly from a physical standpoint, no. And I've just not been feeling it this week because I've a bit cheesed off with things. So I just like, well, I do a bit here and there. I've been doing research and that, but not really actually making anything.
No.
So But I do in fits and starts. Sometimes I want to, you know, do a ton of stuff. I've got loads of stuff to do, and it's boom, 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 chuck them out. And then other times it's just like, just take it easy or whatever, you know.
It's funny, and sometimes you can be sort of stuck for ideas, not knowing what to do for a video.
Yeah.
And then you get like an idea, and you just get a flurry of ideas all of a sudden. You know, once you got an idea, it leads on to another one, and you just, before you know it, you got a list of things. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you could not even be. You can not even be like necessarily thinking about it in particular. And you know, something will happen, and suddenly you go, "Oh, that's a good idea." Write it down, you know, and away you go.
That's it.
But no, I'm happy enough doing me Saturday morning, you know, my Saturday morning videos at the moment. So even if I don't get anything else during the week, that's something.
I try to get one video out per week, and I think that's the minimal amount really you need to do, isn't it? You know, you don't have to do that really. You could do fortnightly or do once a month. It's solely on the creator.
Yeah, it depends on if you want to keep the momentum going though as well.
Yeah. I think if you want to keep the momentum going, you need to do it regularly, and I think at least one video a week.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think otherwise, you know what people's attention spans like. It's like, oh, well, they're not doing anything. They must have stopped doing it. If they don't do anything for a week, they think they're not making anything now. Oh, I'll move on. I'll go off and do something else. And when you do go back to doing it, the people that were there aren't. If you get my meaning.
No.
So.
You have to find that balance, don't you?
Of
being regular, but not overdoing it. You know.
Well. Well, that's fine. You know, just keep plugging away. What happens, happens.
That's it. Just keep going.
It's not like it's a job, is it? So, you know.
No, it's not. It's a hobby. You know, doesn't matter, does it?
Not really.
Not that important. You know. I've had a break from doing the live streams for a couple of weeks, as you probably know.
Yeah, well, you said, you know, well, summer holidays, isn't it? So you've got other things take priority.
Yeah, it is, and there's and work on top of that, isn't it? You know, and the heat.
Have you managed to have a proper summer holiday, or?
I've had 1 week off work during the summer holidays, which was the first week they were off, and ever since then I've been back to work. And
you've not been anywhere.
It's gone so quickly, hasn't it? This summer, it's just gone in.
It has, yeah.
You know, I think next week I think the kids go back September, don't they? And
I believe
we're in autumn already. It's crazy.
Yeah. They've only got less than 4 months till Christmas. So
I know.
Ridiculous. My mum's already started doing Christmas shopping. For goodness' sake.
I've already seen an incline in parcels already.
Yeah, and I imagine you would have done actually. Yeah.
People are ordering. Whether that's, I don't know what they're ordering, but I just see I noticed that.
Yeah. My mum's got a Christmas tree. She brought that
already.
Yeah. Well, it's only £8, so she's like, yeah, fair enough.
You right, Martin? You all right, Richard?
How's it going, boys?
Richard. Good to see you, mate.
You were talking about making videos. Hold on, I'll get the last bit.
Yeah.
I missed it because I had to restart the computer because it just started again. So no, I've been taking a bit of a break, and since that I've been trying to build up a few ideas, and I've got about 10 ideas. And the one that just came to me an hour ago was the 12-inch singles, because I remember you doing a video, Simon, way back in the day, whereas show me your 12-inch singles.
I did. Which I remember.
So whenever I said 12-inch singles, I thought, Simon, that's why I asked you. I thought,
cool. Yeah, I'll be up for that.
It'd be good to see what you've got. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's just then I had a wee look because all my records are all in an Excel document. So I don't have anything beginning with I, the band, and I don't have Y, and I don't have V. I think those are the only three.
I've got Iron Maiden.
Right. Okay. Good. That'll.
You got any in excess?
I don't know. I only have one in excess album, Kick. That's
it's a good album.
It's not bad. They were never really my cup of tea, but it's
fair enough.
I've got quite a few 90s as well, Richard. Actually, in our collection.
Oh, the 90s ones.
Yeah.
They'd be worth quite a bit. Like we're only picking one from each letter, so well.
Yeah. Is that the artists or?
I would have thought the artists. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I would have thought to see if you can. The way everybody does an A to Z of their collection and sees if they've got.
Yeah.
Thought we'd do it with 12-inch singles.
Right. Yeah.
I use quite difficult. I use quite a difficult one to do, isn't it?
It is.
I don't use that many bands.
Yeah, there's no. I thought I had an incantation one. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Remember Cachapaya was a big hit.
Yes.
It was Peruvian sort of panpipe type music, which was a brilliant track in the top 10. But I don't have the LP. I don't have the 12-inch.
Maybe if we can get this video down, Richard, we could work on that other one about the 90s.
Yeah. Yes, there's been a couple Ian has mentioned. So there has. There's one about the Olympics, which obviously didn't happen because the Olympics is not gone.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what that one was about. Was it I've got a sheet. Is it the best? I don't want to say too much here.
No, I understand what you're saying. You don't want to give away too much.
There was one I did have all the years, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's one of those what do you call those things that Jimmy did that you were in, Jason?
The tiers.
A tier ranking, yeah.
Tier ranking.
Yeah.
I know that because I had to listen to songs. That was the rubbish, so they were.
And I did think there was one. Just something came to me actually. One in you and Ian can do. You do your things. What's it on it's a Saturday? Is it?
Yeah.
Saturday morning. Yeah. I don't know if you've done one before. Do your favourite Christmas songs in time for the celebrations.
You see, I've done that on my channel. The thing is,
okay.
But hold on. I would do it, no problem. I don't think we've done it. I don't mind repeating myself if it's on Ian's channel.
Yeah.
But if it's on my channel, I wouldn't do it because I don't want two videos exactly the same.
No,
and I always say if I repeat myself, I'll stop. And so a lot of those videos that we've done on Ian's channel, which is why I like doing them on Ian's channel, it's me revisiting previous videos that I've done on my own.
Fair enough.
There's only so many to do.
Just thought, because there's a lot of awful ones out there. But there are some, even I'll admit I'm not massively into Christmas music, but there have been some good tunes.
There have, and what I would actually, if I was going to, that's not a bad idea, is pick your top 10 Christmas crooner tracks, rather than your Slades and your Wizards and your Boney M's and all the rest of it in your band.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Your King Cole's, your Bing Crosby's, your Frank Sinatra's, your Jim Reeves, whoever. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Or
a really good idea.
Or even there's another thing for you. Songs that entered, they entered the chart, say on the Christmas week, that aren't necessarily actually Christmassy records.
We've done that.
You've done that as well. Fair enough.
We did that.
You've covered a lot, haven't you, between you?
Yeah.
We're near hitting 50 videos.
Wow.
I started because I asked him one time. This is before he actually brought the live stream up. He did a live stream, but he didn't bring anybody up. I asked him if he wanted to do a video, and Mike Chapman, who wrote a lot of the stuff for Mod Sweet and all those glam acts, said he did. And then we did a Genesis one. Now those two were done on my channel. After that, every single one's been on his, and I'm really glad it has, because a lot of those videos I wouldn't have done on my own.
So what seems to happen where you've got these new ideas? Where these new ideas come from then, Richard? Because you were struggling a little bit for ideas.
They've come from, you see, basically, if we go back a little bit, I did all my favorite artists from 1965, favorite albums from 1965, 1989, in about something like 20 odd videos or whatever it is, 24 videos, 25 videos. And I was expecting that to be the end, but I wasn't satisfied that was the end. So I thought, right, I wanted to start my channel by watching a lot of other people's channels. Now, in those days, it was mostly people like James Griffiths, Mean Mr. Mayo, and so forth. And I just wanted to show everything I had. So I thought, right, I'll do all the albums, and that'll definitely be the end, because I had run out of ideas. But since it was the end, I needed a break, and I'm enjoying my break. But whenever you're not thinking about it, that's when the videos, the ideas start coming along. And so I write it down. I've got about 10 different ones already. I'm not going to do any yet. Probably the first video back on, if it's my channel or yours, will be that 12-inch one.
Right.
I'll still do videos with Ian, and I'm doing one with James Griffiths. I was supposed to do him last week as well, but I wasn't feeling very well. But that'll be in a couple of weeks' time as well. So
that'll be good.
I don't mind coming on. It's just I can't be arsed at the moment sitting in front of a camera and getting all these writers out and showing them.
That's fair enough.
You know, honestly, I've been doing it for 5.5 years, and I've been doing it. The only time I took a break was whenever I first got COVID, and it knocked me out for 3 weeks. And that's the only time. You know, I lost my father last year, and I still did videos either side. Okay, it wasn't the day after or whatever. There was about a week and a half or whatever, but I still kept doing the videos.
I went through that. I went through about 3 years ago. You know, my father, and I still have to. You still have to sort of get through it, don't you? You know, you still have to.
You do.
You can use this platform as a way of getting through it. You know.
You can. And whenever I look back on the videos, the last video I did, and I know it was while my father was still alive, was ranking the Paul McCartney albums. Right. And I think the video I did was actually about 3 days after he died, actually, because it was a record store day.
Yeah.
And I actually felt good about doing it because it took my mind off it a bit.
That's it. Yeah.
Because whenever whenever your father dies or your parents die, there's a lot of financial stuff that you have to deal with, as well as dealing with the grief itself.
Yeah, that's it.
Not been there yet, so I'm dreading the day when it happens.
Unfortunately, it happens to everybody.
It does. Yeah.
So I've lost both my parents now, so that's.
I mean, I know what it's like when I've lost my grandparents, so you know.
Yeah. It's not the same.
And I think I've got an echo.
You haven't now. You did, but it's all right now.
Hang on, lean forward a minute.
Might be where you're a bit close.
No, hang on, I'll get right close. No, because it shouldn't be, because my headphones cancel the noise out, so you shouldn't hear anything from the headphones.
I thought you were just going to do the hokey cookie there.
No, I don't know what that was. That was strange.
Yeah, I've often done a few clear outs, Martin. Actually, I've had a few cullings over the years. Well, that 12-inch video, yeah, I'll be up for that. That should be good.
Are you on Facebook, Simon?
I am, yeah.
Well, the handiest thing to do is just send. I don't know your full name. Mine is, mine, and it's the same profile picture. Send me a friend request, and then that's us on Messenger.
Okay, yeah, I'll find you.
Yeah.
I'd be good to see what you come up with.
There's not very many of us about Richard McCooks. There's a few though. but there's not that many.
Right. Okay.
I'm a good-looking one.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one of me on YouTube, as far as I know.
I know your second name because Jimmy said it a few times.
Yeah.
Jason Clo.
That's it. Yeah, and you pronounced it correctly as well.
Yeah.
Everyone says ow, clow, as though I've like hit myself with something, you know.
Well, how do you spell that? CHLO. I don't know how you spell it.
CLOW.
CLOW. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I've had Cho, I've had Crow, all sorts.
So how is Jimmy?
Yeah.
Are you in contact with him?
Sorry.
Are you in contact with Jimmy at all?
Yeah. No, I spoke. When did I speak to him? Was it yesterday? Can't
All
remember.
right, is he?
Yeah, no, he seems all right. He's just plodding along doing his videos. I think he does about 2 or 3 a week now. So he seems quite content doing that.
Oh, good.
So fair play to him. I think the thing with the live streams is he's had this before. He gets a bit burnt out. You know, he's sort of because he says even when he does them, you know, sort of like the next day he's quite tired from after doing it, which I get. And then so if you're doing, well, for argument's sake, if he was doing ours every couple of weeks, wasn't he? He was doing the old Sodcast every couple of weeks. He was doing Ian's. Did he ever come on yours much, Simon?
Yeah, he's been on here a few times.
Yeah. So you know, if you're doing the 3 in a week, that's a lot of, you know, a fair bit. And plus, you're trying to put videos out yourself as well. You know.
Yeah.
I
understand.
Yeah. No, my thing is sometimes we're trying to come up with stuff for Ian's videos a bit sort of like, oh crikey, what do I do this week? You know. And I know different stuff.
I noticed that blind buy one. I was off last night, and I thought, will I go up? And I didn't go up because of the blind buys, and I should have gone up because what a lot of people showed wasn't blind buys. They were more like referrals from different artists. So, for example, I bought this album by Asia. It's not really a blind buy because he knew who was all in it. Do you know what I mean? A blind buy to me is whenever you go into a shop, you've never heard of the artist or anything about it, you like the cover, I'll take it.
Well, a lot of those which I brought were definitely blind buys. I mean, even the Eddie Murphy one. Yes, I'd heard of Eddie Murphy, but I didn't know what his music was like. I didn't know what he was like as a singer. You know, so yeah.
You got a bargain with that David Bowie one, No Plan. That's a really good EP. That's his last EP of brand new material that was ever released. Brand new material.
Well, I didn't know anything about it. And yeah, I like the odd bit of Bowie, but you know.
So those are songs that just failed to get on to the Black Star album. And in fact, 2 or 3 are actually better than some of the songs that are on Black Star that should have been on.
But, I've only ever listened to that the once.
No, well, it was.
I think that
was it colored vinyl or is it ordinary black vinyl?
Oh, the one that I've got. Do you know what? I don't even think I've actually I've listened to it on Spotify. I don't think I've actually opened it. I'll tell you what. It's on my sofa. We can have a look. Bear with me.
Okay. And just I've got it on black vinyl, but I think colored vinyl might be clear or white. It might be worth a couple of quid.
I don't have much on Bowie, admittedly.
You don't have much. You should get a greatest hits. I will always say get a decent greatest hits. And
I've got a compilation.
Oh, you've got a compilation?
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh.
If it's CD, Simon, one of the best ones to get actually is either I don't get Legacy, which has been in the charts for 400 weeks. It's brilliant, but you'll get something like Best of Bowie for about £2 double CD that takes you up to about 2002. And
I've got that on CD. I don't have much on vinyl, I was saying. But I have an album and I've got a compilation on vinyl. That's about it.
I did open it.
Black Velvet.
Yeah.
No,
but it's weird because it's got
it's
not written on the back. Well,
yeah.
So I must have listened to it at least once then.
The thing about the Bowie,
I bought it was sealed anyway. And that was car boot.
The thing about the Bowie albums, they're not cheap. They sold in bucket loads, but they're not cheap. Even Left Lamp, which is sold. That's his biggest selling album actually in the UK.
Depends what you call cheap, really. I mean, I don't think any of the ones I've got.
I say if you want to get an original Diamond Dogs from '74, a #1 album, so it sold a lot on the Orange label. You're looking to get one for 30 quid.
Yeah. No, okay, I mean, if it's an original, then fair enough. I get that point. Because a lot of it have been reissued several times, haven't they?
Yeah, I know, but even in the 1980s, they reissued a lot of them, and some of them that were in gatefold sleeves were reissued in single sleeves, and they were on the green label, and they're still going a bit. Okay. That's a brilliant. That's the triple one.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think
I think these are all cherry shop finds.
I'm just trying to think what I've got.
The best album ever released.
Can
you turn that around, Simon, please? I want to see if that's the Ryko one with the bonus tracks. That is the Ryko one with the 2 bonus tracks, Dodo and Candidate. You see that picture there? That is the picture I would have liked to have been the front cover of that album.
Yeah.
They
had to. Didn't they have to edit this picture?
Yeah, if you open it up, if you open the CD up, right, you'll see the dog's legs.
Yeah.
Right. It was edited where his manhood had been brushed over. Now it's back on again.
I see.
I don't think.
Brilliant album, and that includes. I'll tell you now. It includes a song that's going to be featured in Ian's video tomorrow, and there's a brilliant B-side on that called "Conversation Piece," which is magnificent, absolutely magnificent. It was the B-side of "Pretty Star."
Bonus tracks on that one.
Yes, very, very good.
I'm just trying to think what I've got. Actually, I've got. Oh yeah,
no bonus tracks in that one, I'm afraid. And it's a shame because they could have put 2 on. Could have put All Young Dudes and the sax version of John and Money Dancing.
This I picked up quite recently.
That's a decent enough album. But the one thing I don't like about that is the vinyl album has 3 more songs than the CD.
Right.
This is a double vinyl album. And they use the Fame 90 version on that rather than the original Fame. So the version that was on the Old Pretty Woman soundtrack, Fame 90, is on that, and I just don't like it.
This is a comp, isn't it?
It is a comp, yes.
Yeah.
His first comp was actually called Changes 1 Boy. Second one was Changes 2 Boy, and then they didn't put the 2 of them together. They took Changes 1, changed it over the Fame, and added a few tracks to make Changes Boy. That is probably the best of all the compilations you can get.
Yeah.
Now there's 20 different versions of that throughout the world with different track listings, which is annoying because I've got 9 of them.
So if you can,
the best is it the Danish version? I think it might be the Denmark version is my favorite, but they're all brilliant.
I've got. I think I've got Young Americans.
That's great.
Yeah, I think that was out of my dad's collection actually. Let's Dance. The Labyrinth soundtrack.
It's okay. Very good.
I love the films. That's the reason why I got it, and I do like the songs on it. Dark Star I've got on CD. Might be another one, but I can't remember what it is. No, I've not got many. Most of them I got for like between 15 and 20 quid. So they weren't overly pricey, and that's why I sort of got them. because they were relatively cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I may get some more later on, but it's sort of as and when. There's certain time when I'm gap filling at the moment.
He's been my favorite artist since 1980.
Yeah.
So he had, and
my friend was a lot more than I was.
But I think, in a way, he's, since his death, there was a lot of hullabaloo about David Bowie and how brilliant he was. But over the last couple of years or so, not as much. And I just think people are starting to forget about him. And where I work, there's a lot of young people in our office, and I would say to them, have you ever heard of David Bowie? And they say, no, never heard of him.
No, I know, it's weird. But then, that's been a thing for years. I mean, I was kind of lucky what mum and dad were into and that, and all the rest of it. And then it got me into other stuff and what everybody else was listening to, and I just did it that way, I mean, you got to remember, kids, they haven't got Top of the Pops or anything like that now. So,
yeah. Because I asked one of the girls, she must be 22, asked her at work, can you name me any of the Rolling Stones? And she couldn't.
No.
She could name one Beatle, and I'm surprise, guess who that was? It was Paul McCartney. But she couldn't name any of the Rolling Stones. And whenever I said Mick Jagger, I go, oh, yes, of course. Then I said Keith Richards. No, never heard of him.
No.
So it's just the way it is.
Now, most of the people that are, or at least people that are, I mean, I've got friends that are about 10, 11 years younger than me, and they're aware of who they are. My nephew is 30 odd, and he knows who they are. So, maybe it's just sort of like the last 20 years or so that it's gone like that.
I think so. And also, I don't think music means as much to people anymore as it used to, especially that it's available on tap with Spotify and all your Apple Music and all the rest of it. So any music that you want to hear, you hear it for free. And in our day, if you wanted something, you had to spend your pocket money on it, which meant no Snickers bars or whatever. If you wanted that record, the sweets were gone.
It was sublime. It was, sometimes it was sublime by, because you perhaps maybe vaguely heard the artist and knew like one song.
Yeah.
And then you go out and you go, well, they got a new album out. Let's go and buy it, and it might turn out to be complete pish.
Well, that's happened to me with the first Iggy Pop album I bought. It was a live album, and I bought it because I knew David Bowie was on it, and I bought it, and I thought, this is a mess. This is a terrible, terrible album called TVI. Now, in those days, you bought a bad album, you persevered with it until you sort of half-liked it. So you did. You just didn't dismiss it and throw it away. You persevered with it. And it's not bad. It's all right, but it's no ridiculous.
But I've had that with I mean, artists that I'm like really into. They've come up with a new album and it sounds a bit different to the usual stuff. And you think, oh, I don't know, is it too different? And then you get into it, and for the most part, when I've had that happen, it's like, you know what, I actually really, really like this album now. It's really good. But it's because it's quite a change. It's like you're not necessarily prepared for it.
Yeah.
So you've got to get your head and your brain around it.
Good as well, because that's partially the reason why I love David Bowie. Because my first Bowie album was Ziggy Stardust, right? The second one was Hunky Dory. Now they're quite different, but there's similarities there. The third one was Low, which was absolutely nothing to do with those other two albums, and I loved it just as much. And the fact that he kept changing the sound of his music, I thought was great. He made a few mistakes in the 80s. I can accept that. And especially in the 90s. Now, I'm not a drum and bass fan, so I was never that keen on the Earthling album, although Little Wonder's got a bad track and Satellites. But that sort of drum and bass sound for me is just clutter. It gives me a headache.
Yeah. I did like, I mean, I've not had a lot of that, but I did like, what was it, Little Wonder. I did like that because I thought that was quite well done.
It's not bad. It's a bit repetitive, mind. At the end, it had to be edited for a single. It could be edited a little bit more. But still.
So Ritas. So I just reading the comments. Yeah, I remember them. I only really know the one Ritas song. Well, two.
Is that the Teenage Dirtbag band? No,
yeah,
that was a big hit. Yeah.
And they did a Eurasia cover song, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, it's off that album. Yeah.
Those are the main two that I know. I can't remember what Eurasia song was it. I can't remember now.
Oh. I only know Teenage Dirtbag.
Can't remember now.
Talking of Erasure, though,
I think it was a little respect.
Respect. Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It's sort of semi-acoustic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a good album there, debut actually, and the next album after this is quite good as well.
I've got a lot of albums. I've only ever brought one artist of them, and then never know what happened to them after that. You know. Puddle of Mud is a good one. I really like that album. That did well.
That album. Yeah, I brought that.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, very good album. And then after that, I didn't hear anything more of them, so I wasn't too worried.
Just fade out into obscurity, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still going. I believe they're still going, but it's I think it's they've got their, what should we say? Well, like most bands have, they got die-hard fans that go and see them regardless, and they'll buy everything that they do.
I think regarding Wheatus, though, I think it was Sony that really buggered them up, really, with poor promotion of their second album.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I saw. I've never been like a massive fan. I don't like hate him like a lot of people do. But I saw that Nickelback documentary on what's it, Netflix?
Yeah.
Was it yesterday? That was okay. Kind of interesting. They're one of those bands that they were really, really built up and hyped up, and I don't think they deserve the hype that they got. And then, of course, everybody's tried to tear them down. And again, at that point, I didn't think they were as bad as what everybody said. It was like they were who they were, and they filled a gap. Oh yeah, yeah.
That was their second album. I mean, it's the album cover which just missold it. It was just didn't do it justice.
No.
But it's actually a very good album. So I recommend.
Right. Yeah. Astro, my niece was into My Chemical Romance for a while. But she grew up. She stopped liking blooming stuff like JLS and all that nonsense, and started listening to proper music.
JLS.
And she's quite a big AC/DC fan actually.
But did any of you not like
only 21?
Any of those girl groups of the early 2000s, like your Sugar Babes and your Girls Aloud and your Atomic Kittens?
Yeah.
I actually quite like them. I have to admit.
They're easy on the ear, aren't they? They're not.
But right, say for example, Atomic Kitten, their first album was completely written by Andy McCluskey of Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, didn't know that.
And that number one hit, Whole Again, OMD actually recorded that themselves after Atomic Kitten. So you can hear OMD actually doing it. It's a very, very good version. I thought quite good. I thought some really good singles like All About You by the Sugar Babes and what's the other one of theirs?
Couldn't tell you. I know they ripped off David Bowie on one of them.
They ripped off Gary Newman. A freak like me. They ripped off Our Friends Electric, and to be honest with you, I love it. I absolutely love their version. It's just the synth part of it which was ripped off.
Yeah, what albums of the 2000s did you end up buying then, Richard? Can you remember?
Very little. I'll tell you what I did buy. There's a pop album. I think it's a really, really good album too as well. Apart from my artists that I love in the 2000s, I bought all their albums.
Yeah.
But I bought Mika cartoon. Is it Life? Cartoon Life or Life? A cartoon or something?
Yeah.
Grace Kelly on it, loved it. That there is a genius. That's one of the best singles of the 2000s. Grace Kelly, absolutely brilliant. So I bought it. Vampire Weekend. I'm a huge fan of Vampire Week. I love them. Absolutely love them. They have 5 albums, and they're all at least 9 out of 10 albums. A couple of them are 10 out of 10s. They're brilliant. But very little. Bought very little in the 90s. In the 90s, I did your normal Cast, Pulp, Oasis, Blur.
Yeah.
That sort of thing as well. But the one band I couldn't stand, and I know Jimmy loves them, is Suede. I thought they were dreadful. That man's voice.
I didn't mind them. I thought
they're a bit of a quiet taste, aren't they?
I couldn't stand his voice. They were all saying he sounded like David Bowie, and he did not sound like David Bowie.
What I did admire them for, though, is the way they kept going after Brandon Butler left. And I would say, even to an extent, became better.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I love Brandon Butler's guitar work. I think he's a great guitarist. But, this kid, the new kid as it was at the time that stepped in, seemed to know what he was doing. So
another one was Ocean Colour Scene. I thought they were very good. But the problem with them is every one of their albums sounded exactly the same as the last album, and I got bored with them.
Yeah, I've got a couple of theirs.
They were
cheap.
Bands from the 90s and then gone sort of more poppier music of the 2000s, haven't you, Richard, really?
Say that again, sorry, Simon.
You've gone from like a lot of the bands of the 90s, like Pulp, Verve, to like a more poppier taste for the 2000s.
Probably did in a way, but it was really just the girl groups. I couldn't stand boy bands. I really cannot stand. I hate the way they would walk as well. Properly. If I did that after being breathalyzed, I would lose my license. But anyway, I really liked Atomic Kitten. I have to admit, I thought some of their songs were really, really good. Sugar Babes as well.
Oh, that was just
push the button. That was a great wee track.
Yeah, I didn't mind. Well, maybe not so much the first album, because it was a bit too sort of cliched pop, mainstream. But I did like the second album of All Saints.
They were all right. They're okay. A couple of tracks.
Yeah. It was the thing, Pure Shores and stuff like that I liked because, and that was down to the producer and everything as well, because that was really Morbid.
Were they not more 90s sort of up against the Spice Girls? And the Spice Girls I couldn't stand. I thought they were rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
I hate them as well. I thought they were dreadful.
They couldn't sing.
That Wannabe song is absolutely drizzling diaper gravy.
I think they were good for what they were.
I like the idea of the Spice Girls. I like the whole concept. I like the girl part. I thought that was cool. I really did. I like the way each of them were called a different spice, like Scary Spice, Baby Spice, etc. But the songs I thought were poor. And have you ever heard Posh Spice sing? Oh, she's dreadful.
Neither of them can sing, though, really, can they?
Well, your woman can sing the one, the Liverpudlian girl, Mel C.
Yeah, and Emma's not got a bad voice, has she? But the others not so much.
I would have liked both Selectors Mel B to be in there instead.
I love that series.
I kind of when she wasn't, trying to deliberately make herself look scary. I thought Mel B was all right.
Oh, listen, they're all good-looking girls. The whole 5 of them are good-looking girls. So it's just we didn't have the voices. I'm afraid.
Well, it's when you've got an act that's using backing tapes for when they're going live. You're not live then, are you?
Well, that's it. Here's one for you. Who would be your favourite all-girl group of all time, or all-girl band?
All-girl band? Oh, crikey, now you're asking. I don't know that I really have one. I didn't mind some of the Bangles were all right.
Band or group?
Well, both, because if it's a band, obviously they play their instruments, and for me it would be the Bangles.
Yeah.
A group where you get 3 or 4 in front just singing and sort of dancing.
Oh, well, I suppose anybody that like that, you're probably going back to the likes of Dinah Ross and the Supremes.
Spot on. Absolutely brilliant. A Supremes greatest hits album is a necessity in everybody's record collection.
I mean, I know all that sort of stuff. And Motown was, it was a very similar process to the boys and girl groups, and everything was written for them and all the rest of it, and they were told what to do. But Motown was a good sound.
Yes.
Whereas, say, Stock Aitken and Waterman and all the Simon Cowell stuff and all that lot, it all just sounded contrived.
But but you do get those sort of different phases. Like you had your Stock Aitken Waterman phase in the very late 80s, early 90s, in the early 70s, the mid 70s, or even the late 70s. You had your Mike Chapman, Nicky Chin, or even what do you call them, Phil Coulter and Bill Martin. So then in the 2000s, although I don't think you wrote anything, you had your Simon Cowell empire as well.
You did.
You just get all these different phases.
It's just that, I was always a little bit, unless they were doing, let's just say like an a cappella group or something like that, right? Then that was fair enough. But I thought, why does it take 5 people to sing one song?
It's the harmonizing, Jason. It's the harmonizing.
Yeah, I know, but they would each sing a bit of the chorus or whatever, wouldn't a bit of the verse or whatever. I mean, right? So you'd have one bit sing one bit, one bit sing another. If you had Dinah Ross and the Supremes, it was very much Dinah Ross doing the main vocals and then the others doing the backing vocals. That was fair enough, right? Everyone knew where they stood with that. But when you've got this singer will sing the first 2 lines and the next singer will sing the next 2 lines, right? Then we'll have.
I think I'd rather listen to Spice Girls, to be honest with you.
It keeps the old cue down, giving everybody.
I think the first half of the 2000s were far better than the latter half, like miles better. The 2000s.
But that's you getting older. You're probably born. So you were around 20. I take it you're around 1980, Simon.
84.
84, right? You're 16 then in 2000. You're 26 by the end of 2010.
Yeah.
And they always say, when it comes to music, it's really between 14 and 19 is where the majority of the music that you hear that sticks, you hear around that time.
That's true.
Wasn't the case with me. I was born in. I wasn't. I wasn't really. I mean, a lot of the stuff I listened to, yes, was from the 80s. But my main getting into music really was from my 20s to probably to my 40s.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You're the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Because even whenever you go back to the very early days with me, and whenever I was about 7, 8 years old, all that sort of music that whenever I was buying singles at the time, I love it all. And all the stuff that my brother bought, I love it all as well, because I brought in mine, he brought in his, and we didn't really share it, but we heard it. So he'd be playing his down in his bedroom, I'd be playing down in my bedroom, and whenever he disappeared, I went and grabbed his and played it on my record player, that sort of thing. But I don't know, I think for me, of being aware of music, 1973 to 1985 or 86 are the peak years for me. And when it comes to actual chart music and getting really involved, the very early 80s.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like, a lot of sort of 80s bands that I did like, even if I didn't necessarily buy a lot of it, and then that's because I didn't have the money, was the main reason for that. But you know, I mean, I was into Iron Maiden, and still am. Adam and the Ants, and Adam Ant on his own, apart from his last album that he did, which was bloody awful.
What was it?
The Faithful Hussar or whatever it was called. That was a crap album.
Black Hussar and Marrying the Gunner's Daughter.
Yeah, that was awful.
Got a cool song. But Simon, you said something really, really true before you actually brought us on. You said something about, it sometimes takes me about 5 years before I'll actually delve into something after it's been released.
Yeah.
That was exactly the same with me. Even in the early 80s, I was listening, discovering stuff in the mid-70s and the very early 80s, and that's where I've always been behind. The only band that I've been there the whole way through has been the Smiths. The only band from their second single, not their first or second single, the first hit single. But everything else has been released previous. So all my David Bowie.
It's like you need a few years to digest it.
You do. But even things like, and I appreciate albums like Rio, Duran Duran. Never a keen fan on that. I think that's a great album now. But it must have been about the mid to late 80s. I actually said to myself, I actually like that. That's pretty good. You know, I hated it at the time.
So I just seen what Astro put. So what they called? Retro. All right, okay, yeah, I'll try and remember that.
And another album which I hated at the time because I thought it was the most disappointing follow-up to one of the best albums ever was Adam and the Ants' Prince Charming. Hated that album. Hated the singles apart from it. Detested it. Absolutely love it now.
Yeah,
it's up there. It's really up there. It's just so underrated, that album. You know, okay, it's not as good as Kings of the Wild Frontier because that's one of the best albums. That's the best album in the 1980s for me. It's Kings of the Wild Frontier. But
I think
Charming's brilliant as well.
I think Kings of the Wild Frontier was the first stuff that I heard. Because it was a little bit early for me to get into that with the Young Parisians and all that lot. But I love Dirk White's White Socks. I think it's fantastic. It's very much more punky.
Yeah, very post-punky.
I'm not a massive punk fan, but I really do like that.
That's the sort of album that Mike Vinyl Spiral, if he hasn't heard it, I think he would love it.
Yeah,
he probably has, but I think that'd be his type of music.
Yeah, I mean the thing was, I was listening to a lot of those songs at the time, and I was a bit clueless as to some of the meanings of them, shall we say? You know, because you're a kid, you don't know what that is.
No, I know.
And it's like, oh yeah, he was a bit fruity on occasions, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. There's a lot of songs that have escaped the net, and I think the most famous one that escaped the net was Lou Reed's "Walk on the Wild Side."
Yes, I know. Yes,
which is almost pornographic.
Yeah, it is.
So,
yeah.
Do you have a favourite Irish artist list, Richard?
I don't actually know. Probably my favourite Irish band is Stiff Little Fingers, and then the Undertones, and I like them both. But when it comes to, I do like, if you're talking the Republic of Ireland, I've always liked the Boomtown Rats, but I felt that after their third album, they fell off a cliff basically after their third album.
Yeah.
But U2, first couple of albums up to, I suppose I'll go up to as far as the Joshua Tree. I like, but I was never a huge fan of. War is their best album for me. I really like it.
I still Pride in the Name of Love is still one of my favourite songs.
I never got Snow Patrol or anything like that there, or Ash or any of those ones. So
no, despite what the lead singer's like, I still think they do some good stuff. I don't know about their sort of most recent stuff, probably anything they've done in the last 15 years, but I think they did some reasonable tunes.
Is this U2 you're talking about?
Sorry?
Is that U2 that you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
They're all right. Achtung Baby's okay as well. It's not a bad album.
Is it U21 is the best of collection? I've got that.
Decent. That's good. That's decent.
It's a good collection, yeah. But I think that's all you need with them.
What actually I liked about U2 as well is they gave one of their songs away to Roy Orbison, or they wrote it for Roy Orbison. She's a Mystery to Me, which I think is a really, really good song for him.
Not sure I've heard that.
It's on the Mystery Girl.
I'll probably know it if I heard it. It's one of those ones I don't remember, but
it was follow up to You Got It. I got your friend request there, Simon. I'll never go off. I'll accept it.
Brilliant. No, the main Irish stuff I know, or at least I remember, is all the traditional Irish sort of drinking songs and stuff. But that's because I was 10 years old when we were in Ireland, and we used to go in the pubs. They had all these Irish folk singers in there, playing away. Stuff like the Dubliners and all that lot. And
you still get that down south. I was in Cork a few years ago. Went down to see Alanis Morissette. Now Cork is at the bottom of Ireland. I'm at the right top of Ireland, and I drove the whole way down. And funny enough, the majority of it, apart from about 8 miles, was all dual carriageway, which was great. So it didn't take that long to get down. But we went into one of the pubs, on one of the nights, and it was your fiddly-dee music, and it was great crack, absolutely great crack. So that's still happening. So it is.
And the Chieftains were another one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chieftains. Aye.
Yeah. The main one I remember is "You drunk, you silly old fool, so blind you cannot see." I love that. It's brilliant because it's just a daft song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never got into the Pogues that much. Some of them stuff was alright, but I never really got into them.
Do you know what? I'm going to say it here. I cannot stand Fairy Tale of New York, or is it in New York? The one with Kirsty MacColl. I can't stand that track.
Really?
I love Kirsty MacColl. I don't mind the Pogues, but it just annoys me so much. It's one of those Christmas ones. If I never hear again, I'll be happy enough.
I think it's because it's been played so much.
Oh, dreadful! But they're all played that much. So they are. Every one of them. Like Mariah Carey nearly gets to #1 every year now with that song of hers, which I never liked either.
Yeah.
What's the other song they did? Pogues. What's the other hit they had?
They had A Pair of Brown Eyes, I think, and A Dirty Old Town is probably.
Dirty Old Town. I love that track.
Funny enough, that Dirty Old Town was actually. Was that not written by Kirsty MacColl's dad?
I don't know.
There was Kirsty MacColl actually Irish? Sorry.
I think no, she wasn't. Yeah. She was English.
I don't know. I just wondered.
Her father was a folk singer, Ewan MacColl, and he wrote. I think he wrote "Dirty Old Town," and he wrote one of the most beautiful songs ever that Roberta Flack sung, "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face." So So it's weird that then Kirsty joins the Pogues, who had already recorded one of her dad's songs.
Yeah.
Kirsty MacColl, very good songwriter.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, she's a better backing vocalist than she is a full lead vocalist. She's brilliant at the backing vocals. You get whenever she was used by the Smiths, and she was used by Happy Mondays, and she was used by Billy Bragg a lot as backing vocalist. Yes. And she was. She's a good singer, but it's almost like her voice is very. What's the word? Similar throughout. Maybe a little bit mundane and a little bit flat, but she hits the notes. Yeah. There's not much variation in her voice, but I still love her.
Yeah, I think she plays to her own strengths, doesn't she? She doesn't try and do anything too ambitious.
That other hit she had near New England, that was written by someone else as well, wasn't it?
That was Billy Bragg.
Billy Bragg, yeah. It was her that made it a hit, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did she?
Tracy Ullman single, They Don't Know, that was written by Kirsty MacColl. And do you know the song They Don't Know by Tracy Ullman?
Yes, I know that one, yeah.
You should know it, Simon. But I actually prefer Tracy Ullman's version, but there's a part on it where she goes, baby, and Tracy Ullman could not get that note, so they took it off the Kirsty MacColl version and added it into the Tracy Ullman. So that baby is exactly the same as the Kirsty MacColl single. Number 2 hit in 1983. Got Paul McCartney in the video and all. You'll know it, Simon. You'll know it.
Don't know it. No.
Have you? It's on one of the Now albums. I think it might actually be on Now 1 or possibly Now 2.
It was this Massey.
I will have it then somewhere buried in my.
Who was Massey then?
Who?
Massey.
Mazzy. Did you guys go to Heathrow Airport to welcome Mazzy to the UK? No, we didn't.
London. So yes, he's.
Sorry,
I saw his video today. He was with David Ellis. Oh, lovely fella, lovely fella. And I think tomorrow, Saturday, he's meeting up. He said he's meeting up with people from Birmingham and Manchester. So I'm assuming Rob Walker's going down to see him, and what you call him, John 6-inch Pianist will probably go down to see him as well in London.
Right. No, I don't know.
He went to the Yoko Ono exhibition type thing. What a pile of rubbish! Absolute garbage.
I know. What can you say?
Maybe I'm not artistic. That's probably it. I shouldn't say anything, but no, absolute garbage.
I know. Still. Oh well.
Well, folks, I'm going to hit the road here. So it was great to talk to you again.
Yeah.
And I'll be in contact within the next couple of weeks or so, Simon. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that. Do that then.
All right. Sorry,
all the best. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
No, good to have him on.
Yeah. I'm going to shut it down now, Jason.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough, mate. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. Yeah, I just got to get this video up and make sure the graphics are done. So.
If you want to hang around for a couple of minutes or so, I'll shut it down.
Okay,
Bye, folks. Bye for now, then. Bye.
See you later, guys.